how to get whatever you want. That's a pretty bold claim, right? But what if the solution wasn't some super complicated strategy? In this explainer, we're going to dig into a source that boils it all down to one single powerful idea.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. What if the real secret to getting everything you've ever wanted wasn't some long, drawn-out process, but was actually just one word? I know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, right? But stick with me, because the logic behind it is surprisingly solid. All right, so here it is. That one word, that one technique is ask. But wait, this isn't about just sitting around wishing for things. We're talking about a very specific, learnable skill, what you could call the art of asking.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. If there's one art to master in life, this is it. Think about it for a second. This is the difference between someone who just works hard, head down, and a good asker who actively goes out and shapes their own reality.
So here's the key idea. Asking isn't just a passive request, it's an active trigger. It's kind of like pushing a button on some giant, complex machine. You don't have to understand all the gears and wires inside, right? You just need to know that pushing the button starts the whole process. And asking, well, asking is that button.
So, if asking is the button, you might be wondering, what are the principles that make the whole machine actually work? Well, it turns out there are three pretty simple foundational rules that govern this entire process.
Okay, here they are, the three rules. First, it all starts with asking. That kicks everything off. Second, and this is where it gets really interesting, receiving isn't the hard part at all. It's just an automatic thing that happens when you ask. But it's the third one that's the real game changer. The supply of whatever you want is totally, completely unlimited.
And this quote, wow, it just illustrates that third point perfectly. The potential is massive, it's endless, it's like an ocean. You know, success isn't rationed. It's not like you show up and they've run out for the day. The ocean is always there. So the real question this quote forces you to ask yourself is, what size container are you showing up with?
And that's the choice, right? You have the teaspoon approach. This comes from that scarcity mindset, you know? Thinking small, asking for little things, and really limiting what you believe is possible. But then, there's the bucket approach, and that comes from a mindset of abundance. It means you set huge goals and you ask with the confidence that the ocean is more than big enough. It's time to trade in that teaspoon for a bucket.
Okay, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's get practical. It's not just about asking, it's about how you ask. And there are two really essential methods that have to work together to make this happen.
The first method is what we'll call intelligent asking. This is super important. You cannot be vague. You can't just mumble your goals. You have to define them with absolute precision. How wide is it? How high? When do you want it? What size? What color? The idea here is that a really well-defined goal acts like a magnet, literally pulling you towards it. The clearer you are, the stronger that pull.
Now, the second method is its emotional partner, faithful asking. This is all about believing you can get your goals with the pure, unwavering faith of a child. You know, before we adults learn to be skeptical and cynical about everything, kids just believe. That's the powerful, raw energy we're trying to tap into here.
And this quote just ties it all together so perfectly. Make plans like an adult and believe in them like a child. You see, you combine the two. You plan with all the logic and detail of a grown-up, but then you believe in those plans with the boundless, unstoppable optimism of a kid. Okay, this is a really fascinating concept, right? But it's all just theory until you actually test it. So instead of just taking my word for it, the idea is to put it into practice with your own personal experiment. And this experiment has a very clear time frame. Just 90 days. That's it. It's not some lifelong, scary commitment. It's a short, focused sprint to see what this whole method can actually do for you. And here's the best part, the real clincher. There is absolutely zero risk. If after 90 days of asking intelligently and believing childishly, you decide, this isn't for me, you can always go right back to the way you were doing things before. Nothing lost. But imagine what you have to gain if it works. Which brings us to this final thought. This is the big one. If you were to start your 90-day experiment today, right now, what would be on your list? Just take a second and really think about it. What would you ask for if you truly believed you would get it? Because that is where this whole journey begins.